Welcome to our Level 2 Refrigeration and Air Conditioning course. Ideal for people who are starting to make the first repairs to domestic and commercial equipment and already have the basic knowledge of how the refrigeration cycle works. With no more time to waste, let's go to the first class. Today we present recommended amount of oil for refrigeration and air conditioning compressors. Let's start by saying that new compressors come from the factory with the amount and type of oil tested by the manufacturer for a certain gas or class of refrigerant, and these specifications must always be respected. But in some repairs it may be necessary to change the original lubricant, and it may arise the question of how much oil the system requires. So we can summarize 5 fundamental rules to take into account that motivates the oil change. 1. Change the oil whenever it is observed with a different color from the original. 2. Change the oil whenever moisture or contamination of the system is suspected, where the compressor has been working. 3. Change the oil if the system was open to the atmosphere for hours and was left with zero gauge pressure. 4. Change the oil when installing a second-hand compressor. 5. Change the oil whenever the refrigerant is not compatible with the compressor oil. On the screen we have an indicative table that can serve as a guide when you need to know the amount and type of oil that a compressor has according to the application of the equipment. Let us remember that as a basic rule, the amount of oil that is required to be added to the compressor that has already worked for some time should always be greater than the amount of old oil that is going to be extracted from it. Some technicians recommend adding an additional 20% to the amount of old oil. This is justified because a small part of the oil inside the system has migrated to the refrigeration cycle pipes. The most used viscosity by piston compressor manufacturers is 32 St. The table is very complete. We are going to observe the most used models. For a 1/8 HP compressor, the average amount of oil is 1140 cm. For a 3 HP compressor, the average amount of oil is 1624 centimeters. Now we are going to see the table with rotary compressor. The viscosity for the oil most used by the manufacturers of these compressors is 53 cst. With an electrical power of the compressor of 0.5 HP, 197 milliliters of oil is required. With an electrical power of the compressor of 2 HP, 800 milliliters of oil is required. Now we have the table for the quantity of oil in a scroll-type compressor. The viscosity most used by the manufacturers of these compressors is 32 cst. For a 2 HP compressor, 0.7 liters of oil is required. For a 25 horsepower compressor, 6.8 liters of oil are required. For a 30 HP compressor requires 6.3 liters of oil. See you in class number 2 of this Level 2 Domestic and Commercial Refrigeration course.